Hello, beautiful people. Thank you so much for tuning in, watching, and listening. This is going to be the mid-May 2022 reading for the zodiac sign of Aquarius. As always, my readings are very intuitive, so I'll provide you the meaning of the tarot cards as well as any intuitive messages that I receive. I do, however, recommend you check out your sun, moon, and rising just to get a full picture of everything that's going on for you going into the end of May. Also, if you have not done so already, please do subscribe to my YouTube channel. When you subscribe, that helps me greatly, and you'll be notified when I post videos in the future. With that being said, let's go and jump in and get started. In column number 1, we're going to take a look at what's wrapping up and coming to a close, so last few weeks or month. Column number 2 is just going to be general, what's going to happen the rest of May. We're going to do a money column, a love column, and in our 5th and final column, we're going to do a message from our future self or spirit guides. We're also going to do 3 yes or no questions, take a look at your healing crystal of the month, and do a healing note. But let's see here, pulling a summary card of what's wrapping up and coming to a close. We have the card stretch. When I see the card stretch, typically this is just an indicator that things have been a little bit more challenging than usual. So likely these last few weeks, you've been having to stretch to accomplish things. Again, things just not coming as easily as they normally would. But let's see what messages we have coming through for this column here. The first card that we have is the Magician. The Magician's a really good card to have no matter where we have it in the reading. But the Magician is a card of focused creativity. It's turning visions into reality. It's very inspired action. If you look at this card, there's one of everything. And there's a cup, there's a pentacle, there's a sword, there's a wand. We have that infinity abundance sign at the top of the card there. So this is a really strong time for you, whether you're manifesting or praying, or again, just really that focused energy, that inspired action. The Magician is saying you can have whatever you want. Granted, you may have been working a little bit harder for it than you typically would have. The next card that we have is the 7 of Cups. The 7 of Cups is a card of having a lot of different choices, and sometimes there's a commitment issue. So maybe you have lots of different options and you're not ready to commit to one option. Again, this is saying you can have whatever you want, but you may have been struggling to commit to exactly what you want, Aquarius. Then at the bottom we have the 2 of Cups. The 2 of Cups is a very romantic card. It's a card of partnership, love, proposal, marriage. This can also be a card of like business proposals though. So proposal could be in a marriage sense or potentially in a business sense. But again, very much so a card of love. Some of you may be having a hard time committing to a love relationship potentially, just given the spread of cards here. But let's clarify and see what other messages we have coming through here. The first card we have is the 4 of Pentacles. The 4 of Pentacles is a card of desire for long-term security. So often more than likely, whatever this Magician thing is, this thing that you're wanting, I would say it's thinking long-term. So maybe it's you want this long-term relationship, or you want this certain job long-term. But again, very much so long-term desire. But this is saying that whatever you're wanting long-term, you can have, Aquarius. The next card that we have is the Ace of Pentacles. Anytime we have an Ace card, it's a card of newness. In the case of the Ace of Pentacles, this is typically new job, raise, promotion, investment, some sort of new income. Some of you could have been struggling to decide if you wanted to take this job. Again, with that 2 of Cups too, we were talking about that new business proposal. It could have been a new job proposal. But some new money coming in for you. But again, some of you could have been hesitant to kind of take the next step or move on it. Then the next card that we have is the 2 of Wands. The 2 of Wands is a card of waiting for results, having to make a choice. That could be part of the stretch too. Possibly this is taking more time or taking longer than you anticipated it would. But again, you did have to make that choice, and I do see that hesitation. So we have waiting with this card, or those kind of commitment issues. So there was some sort of hesitation or waiting happening here, or kind of that non-committal feeling. But we're wrapping up, moving away from that. So let's take a look, generally speaking, what's coming through the end of May. Our next column is just kind of, again, general May. We have the card friction. This is a really interesting card. Sometimes people associate friction kind of negatively. But when I see this card friction, it's usually a good thing. This is an indicator that things are moving. We have friction, we have heat. When we have heat, things are moving. So when I see a friction card, it's a card of movement typically, which is good coming off kind of this non-committal, possibly slow-moving energy. But let's take a look and see what's in the cards for May. The first card we have coming through is the High Priestess. The High Priestess is a card of secrets, mystery, but it's really about trusting your intuition and trusting yourself. Always a good reminder, so as you navigate into the end of this month, going into the end of May here, do make sure you're trusting your intuition, trusting your gut. Always be cautious around kind of that mystery type energy or that secret type energy. A lot of times with the High Priestess, it's like we don't have the full picture. You kind of have to trust your intuition, trust your gut as you navigate through that situation. The next card that we have is the Four of Swords. The Four of Swords is a very tired card. If you look at this person, they're laying in bed. It's a card of rest, retreat, renewal, recovery. So some of you could be feeling kind of burnout going into the end of May. Do be cautious of that. Do make sure that you're taking some downtime for yourself. Make sure you're resting, meditating, having that needed you time, Aquarius. Then at the bottom we have the Queen of Pentacles. The Queen of Pentacles is a very resourceful card. Excuse me, sorry. The Queen of Pentacles is a very resourceful card. I love seeing this card as it relates to money. So I think this could be a good money time for you, especially those of you that are getting that new job, that new income. That's going to be giving that ability to be more resourceful here with the Queen of Pentacles. This is also a card, though, of fertility, so there could be pregnancy news on the front for some of you. That could be that tiredness that you're feeling as well, especially in those early stages or late stage pregnancy there. But let's see what other messages we have, generally speaking, for going into the end of May. We have the King of Cups as our first clarifying card here. The King of Cups is very supportive, very tolerant, very empathetic. I feel like this is you. I should clarify that, Aquarius. This energy is coming through you as the King of Cups. Gender here does not matter. But this is like, the message that's coming through here is I feel like you are going to be supporting somebody, like, as it relates to a secret or as it relates to some unknown information. This feels like more like somebody else's secret or somebody else's mystery that you're kind of supporting them on. You're being that tolerant, empathetic, supportive person. But do like trust your intuition through here, and I would say like avoid getting caught up in whatever this secret mystery energy is. The next card that we have is the Knight of Swords. The Knight of Swords is a very fast-paced card, very fast-paced lifestyle change. If you look at this card here, we have the horse and rider moving quite quickly. This I think is good on top of our Four of Swords. This means two things when I see this. So obviously you're moving very quickly right now. Again, we have that friction card, so that movement card. You have a lot going on really quickly, which is leading to some of that burnout. But this, on the other hand, when I see this, means that we're moving away from a situation really quickly. So in the case of being tired, needing to rest, and needing to recover, we're saying that that shift is going to happen really quickly for you too. So kind of dual meaning there on top of that Four of Swords. Then at the bottom here, we have the King of Wands. The King of Wands is a very bold, powerful, charming card. So King of Wands on top of the Queen of Pentacles, again, that's being very resourceful. Some of you could be moving into a leadership position with that Ace of Pentacles for those of you going into that new job. You're in a really powerful position, though, as it comes to money, which is good. It's just a shift of energy for you, Aquarius. I feel like you're in a new position where you do have more power. You do have the ability to be more resourceful. Things again are moving for you with that friction card. So all around pretty good energy going into the end of May. Just again, be careful of being tired. Now let's take a look at our next column, which is anything related to money. So think job, career, finances, businesses you run, investments you have. Oops, apparently you need both of those, so we'll read them both, Aquarius. But let's see here. So kicking off for our money column, we do have the Eight of Wands. The Eight of Wands is a very speedy card. It's that quick action, change, news arriving. So again, you're really like moving forward, and you're moving forward really quickly. I do think that this could possibly relate to this Ace of Pentacles, that new job, career, position for a lot of you. But in general, this could just be saying that work is moving quickly too. The next card that we have is the Ace of Cups. As we mentioned earlier, the Ace of Cups, anytime we have an ace card, is a card of newness. With the Ace of Cups specifically, this is typically new baby, relationship, proposal, marriage. We're in the money column, so let's focus in on those two middle meanings, which is that partnership and proposal. So I do think, again, there will be that new business proposal. It could be a new business partnership. It could be a new job offer. It could be a new company altogether. It could even be an investment opportunity. But there does appear to be some new partnership or relationship coming in for you as it relates to your finances, most likely related to a job. Now let's take a look at our bottom two cards here. I feel like this is what you're moving away from, which is not a bad thing. Potentially this is what's driving your work move in the first place. So taking a look at our Seven of Wands to kick off with. Seven of Wands is a card of self-defense. You see this person, they're standing on top of a hill. They have one wand, and look at all these wands, all these people trying to hit them here. Very much so a card of self-defense, having to protect yourself against competition. Again, likely a motivating factor for your job search or your desire to move into a new position or start with a new company. Then we have the Seven of Swords, so those dual sevens there. Seven of Swords is a card of theft, betrayal, dishonesty, running away. So there could also be some sort of theft, betrayal, dishonesty happening in the workplace. Again, that's prompting this move that's coming through pretty clearly here for you. But also, if you're looking at the Seven of Swords, this person's like grabbing their swords and they're like running off the card. That very well could be you running away and moving towards that new job or position. Let's clarify this column though and see what other information we have here. First up, we have the Ten of Swords. The Ten of Swords is kind of a dark and gloomy card. If you look, the sky is dark, the person is laying down flat, and they have all the swords stuck into them. It's a really low feeling. It's kind of a card of feeling like you're at rock bottom. Some of you could be financially or career-wise be feeling like you're at rock bottom. But the positive note here being with that Eight of Wands, again, that's that quick change, that's that swift move. So you're going to be moving away from this Ten of Swords, which is always a good thing. We want to get away from that type of energy. The next card that we have is the Eight of Wands. The Eight of Wands we had earlier, so almost right on top of each other there. Again, indicating that change, indicating that speedy change, that news coming in. Not surprised, we were already associating those two cards together. So there just will be news of a new job, new position, new opportunity, new business partnership, some sort of new relationship there on the front for you. Then at the bottom we have the High Priestess. We had the High Priestess in our previous column as well, which is that card of that secret, mystery. Again, there could have been some secrets at work or some mystery at work, some unknown. Again, it doesn't feel great with our 2-7 cards here at the bottom, but continue to trust your intuition as you navigate through this situation. It seems like you're going to be out of it soon though. I think this was just kind of summarizing or confirming maybe things were not as good as they could have been. Now let's take a look at our next column though, which is anything related to love. So think family, friends, relationships, children, anything that you associate with love, Aquarius. Let's see what we've got coming through here. The first card we have is the King of Wands. The King of Wands is very bold, very charming, very powerful. This is also a big card of courage. This seems to be you again, and for those of you that are single and wanting to be in a relationship, I'm getting the message that you need to have the courage to put yourself out there, So do keep that in mind, Aquarius. The next card that we have is the Queen of Cups. The Queen of Cups is an interesting card. If you look at the Queen of Cups, this isn't even really like a cup, it's more like a trophy. And this is you. This is like you are the trophy. So if you're single and seeking, it's knowing your worth. If you're in a relationship, it's knowing your worth. But the Queen of Cups is a very healing, nurturing, supportive type card. For those of you that are parents, it's like being an extra, this is like coming through as an extra reminder to make sure that you are being very nurturing to your children, be nurturing to your partner if you're in a relationship. Sometimes this is an indicator though that some healing needs to be done as well. We're going to clarify this column. Courage and nurturing are those words that are sticking out to this point. Then we have the Five of Wands. The Five of Wands is a card of rivalry, challenge, obstacles. The interesting thing about the Five of Wands, if you look at this card, they're fighting with wands, they aren't fighting with swords. So these are like small bumps in the road. So you could be having some small bumps in the road with your partner going into the end of this month, with a family member, with a friend. I don't think this is like relationship ending or anything of the sort, but again, I do see some small conflict, small bump in the road possibly coming through there. But let's clarify and see what other messages we have. Starting at the top here, we have the World card. The World card is the last card in the major arcana. It's like the world coming full circle, so it's oftentimes an ending. It's completing a goal, completing a lesson. It could be travels too, so this could be encouraging some of you to travel, but this seems to indicate some sort of completion. So when we go back to our King of Wands, that's a very bold and powerful card. So at some point in time, you might not have felt like you could be yourself and be bold, or you feel like you were being very limited by your friends or your family or the relationship that you were in. Or there was just like a time where you weren't like feeling courageous or feeling brave enough to put yourself out there. So again, I do see that ending where you're going into this chapter where you're kind of living into your power, living into your true self with that King of Wands, which is good to see, whether you're single or in a relationship. The next card that we have is the Five of Swords. The Five of Swords is a card of kind of that bully, theft, violent, abusive relationships. So there's really toxic, not very good relationships. What we were saying with the Queen of Cups, you're the trophy, you need to know your worth. That could apply to your current relationship, but I did mention with the Queen of Cups, I feel like there's some healing that still needs to be done, Aquarius. And likely it's healing from a relationship that has these characteristics of that Five of Swords. So again, that bully, that theft, that violence, that abusive, that's some sort of toxic relationship. So just keep in mind, likely some healing for some of you that still needs to happen. Then at the bottom here, we have the Three of Swords. The Three of Swords is a card of heartbreak, really low feelings. This is oftentimes a card of needing to heal too. This is like kind of pulling the sword out of your own heart. What I'm getting here, and it's hard when we do general readings, I can't say like this is going to apply for everybody because that's just not how general readings work. Some of you could have relationships ending, but that doesn't really feel like the energy. I do feel like there's conflict, but again, it's not conflict that's going to end a relationship. But what message I am getting for you, Aquarius, is that you may have to initiate the apology. So like, let's say you do fight with your significant other, you may have to be the one to take the first step to do the amends. Again, the Three of Swords is usually like self-healing, but it's like you initiating it. So I feel like you could be having to put an end to this conflict. So that's what we have for love. Now let's take a look at our fifth and final column, which is a message from our future self or spirit guides. We have the card Absence. Oh, you could be feeling a little bit disconnected going into the end of May. But let's see what kind of messages we have coming off of that card. Something for you to take into the end of May with you. The first card we have is the Strength card. Strength card is a good card no matter where we have it in the reading. It's a card of self-love. It's a card of unconditional love. It's a card of self-respect. All of those very healthy, very beautiful things. It is also a card of courage with the Strength card. So even as you feel disconnected, do kind of tap into this self-love, tap into this self-respect. do be going to those people that provide you that unconditional love. And you just kind of have to like stay courageous, you know, stay the lion as we move forward. The next card that we have is the Eight of Swords. The Eight of Swords is a card the Six of Swords, not the Eight of Swords. The Six of Swords is a very necessary transition. Could be relocating. Some of you could be physically moving. But if you look at this card, there's all these swords stuck in the boat. They're facing away from us. The boat is moving forward in a positive direction. So just keep that in mind, that you need to be courageous as you move through this necessary transition. That could be leading to the absence too as you work through some of this transition. Then at the bottom here, we have the Three of Cups. The Three of Cups is a card of celebration. It's a card of circle of support. So in addition to that self-love and self-respect, again, seeking those that provide you unconditional love to support you through this transition. They're definitely there for you. There's a good circle of support, Aquarius, backing you up. Let's clarify this column really quick here and see what other messages we have. First and foremost, we have the Fool card. The Fool card indicates new beginnings. I'm not surprised to see this because we were just saying with the Six of Swords, you're going into that necessary transition. So this is fresh hope, taking chances, going on that new path and adventure and that new beginning. So again, be brave and be courageous as you enter into this new period. It also appears that this new period will be financially beneficial for you with our Nine of Pentacles. The Nine of Pentacles is luxury, self-sufficiency, financial gain. So wherever this place is taking you, it seems to be financially beneficial as well. Then at the bottom here, we have the King of Pentacles. The King of Pentacles is very solid, very practical. Another great money card. So again, 2 money confirmation cards in a row there. But I feel like you also have a solid and practical support system with that Three of Cups. There could be some celebration there with the Three of Cups. The King of Pentacles could be investment too, so some of this could be new investments that are bringing in some of this money as well, Aquarius. Now at this time, I'm going to give you the opportunity to ask 3 yes or no questions. We're going to use our Gypsy Witch fortune telling deck. If you don't have 3 questions in mind, you can pause the video and think of them really quick. But for question number 1, we have the Four of Spades. This is the number 49 card. That's going to be a no. Question number 2 is the Six of Diamonds. This is number 51 card. That is going to be a no. And question number 3, we have the Seven of Hearts. This is number 21 card. That's going to be a yes. So no, no, yes, Aquarius. We're also going to pull a card from our Healing Notes deck. Oh, sorry, going out of order. First, we're going to talk about your crystal of the month. Crystal to keep with you throughout the month of May. You had heliotrope, which is good for differentiation, protection. It fends off that spiritual and emotional assaults and helps set clear boundaries. So if you haven't been keeping a piece of heliotrope close, you should be, Aquarius, for the month of May. Then we have our healing note, last but not least. Let's see what your healing note says. You will begin to heal when you let go of the past hurts, forgive those who have wronged you, and learn to forgive yourself for your mistakes. Thank you so much, Aquarius, for tuning in, watching, and listening. Please do like, comment, subscribe. Let me know how this video resonates with you. Also, when you subscribe, that helps me greatly, and you'll be notified when I post future videos. If you feel inclined, I did include my Venmo in the comments box if you'd like to make a donation. But thank you again, Aquarius, and have a wonderful rest of your May.